Jumping into our Olympics,
what
yes,
up, friends?
You know, it's been a great Olympics for sports. It's been a great Olympic for the athletes that are competing, for the countries that are represented, and so I definitely want to celebrate at least, obviously, the country where my country I love, the country I live in, the United States, and then obviously where my family is from, Puerto Rico. So I'd like to talk about those two countries in specific, but we'll talk about all of the athletes in general. First of all, let's just start off in generalities. The Olympics so far have been great to watch in terms of the competitive sport and the athletes. I love track and field and swimming. Everybody does. That's what they come for the Olympics for, right? The track and field, the swimming, and the gymnastics. But the track and field and the swimming, man, it's just beautiful how races come down to milliseconds and last second touches or last second, springs across the line, and it's just so cool to see, and it's such an adrenaline rush every time you get one of these awesome races. So shout out, obviously recency bias brings us to a DMV boy. Make me proud, DMV representing that man, Noah Lyles. He is him and him is he. Noah Lyles winning that 100 meter, now going for the 200 meter win, but he from the DMV. Shout out, he from my area up in Virginia. So shout out, a lot of Virginia people in there winning medals at the Olympics. So shout out to our VA people. But yeah, Noah Lyles, Simone Biles. Obviously, we can't go without talking about Simone Biles or Katie Ledecky, who both had 3 golds and a silver. Ledecky added a bronze. So with that, right now they are ranked among the top female or top Olympians ever in United States history, which reminds me, by the way, be on the lookout. Later this week, I'm going to have my top 5 U.S. Olympians short I'll be putting out. I'm actually going to record it right after this. But Simone Biles and Katie Ledecky are both up there, right? Katie Ledecky now has 13 medals in total at the Olympics with 9 gold. And Simone Biles has 11 with 7 gold medals, 11 total with 7 gold medals. But in my eyes, and in terms of technical skill, in terms of strength and concentration, and just, I personally believe, yes, it is an endurance sport to run. You have to be fast. You have to have the body. You have to have the correct mechanics. Same goes for swimming. You got to have length, right? All of these things come into play for track and field and for swimming. But from gymnastics, there's a lot more, just risk of life and death, first of all, from all the flips and stuff you have to do. But just like the tricks in general are more difficult and things like that. So it is harder, in my opinion, and I would think, I've heard this a lot, but in my opinion personally, it's harder to win a medal in gymnastics than it would be in track and field and or swimming. Now, again, track and field and swimming, you either can or you can't, right? There is no in between like there may be with gymnastics, right? You can have a shorter body. You can be maybe a little bit pudgier, even though most of the ones you see in the Olympics are very skinny, but point taken. The point is, that I would put those two ladies right among the same level. And so they're representing the country great. Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky, shout out to both of them as well. Gabby Douglas, shout out to her. First U.S. women's winner in the 200 meters since 2008 when Alex Felix last did it. So 16 years. So shout out to her as well. Cole Hawker winning the 1500, coming back at the last second. That was yesterday. It was so amazing. If you haven't seen that race, go back and watch the 1500 meter. Cole Hawker from the U.S. wins it at the last second, and an amazing scramble comeback. It was awesome. The U.S. men's team, right? The basketball team and the women's team are both still in the tournament, but I want to shout out Kevin Durant, Team USA Captain America, who just passed Lisa Leslie for the most points all time in Team USA history with 488. So shout out to him. He has represented us well in the Olympics. Now, I can't go through every U.S. Olympian because obviously I could sit here all day, but As of right now, we are in the lead in gold medals with 27 to China's 26. Usually people don't go by overall medals because obviously the U.S., we have a lot more athletes in the games. So inherently, we're probably going to win more medals, right? It only makes sense logically. So that's why a lot of countries like to go off of gold medals. And before we move on, I definitely want to shout out, I know we just shouted out all of the U.S. Olympians that have been killing the game out there, but I definitely want to shout out Puerto Rico, you know, where my family is from. First of all, shout out to the men's and women's basketball team. Valiant effort. They gone. They home. They at the beach. They at La Playa having a medalla, you know, at the playa with a medalla. Yeah, I mean, but salute anyways for the effort. But Jasmine Camacho-Quinn earlier today blazed the fastest time in the second heat of the 200-meter hurdles. Or excuse me, 100-meter hurdles. I apologize. At 12.42 seconds. And so Jasmine Camacho-Quinn is a track and field star from Puerto Rico. In 2020 at the Tokyo Olympics, she was the first Puerto Rican of Afro-Latino descent and second person representing the Puerto Rico in the Olympics to win a gold medal. So now she moves on to the semifinals, which is on Saturday, I believe. And then the finals are on Sunday. Yeah, the 9th and the 10th. So Jasmine Camacho-Quinn, salute Boricua. You know I'm rooting for you, and the rest of us are as well. Wepa, wepa, wepa. Moving on. Let's talk about what the Olympics should really be about. We've talked about all these Olympic athletes who have starred in the game so far. And I know, again, there's so many U.S. athletes I wish I could touch on. I know I just touched on the main ones. But, Olympics are about celebrating the athletes, these people that have spent their entire lives trying to get to this point, training and dieting and not having any fun, not going to party. Well, they did. Don't believe some of those swim kids. They be partying. Anyways, they showed me some things. But anyways, you get what I'm saying, right? Just crazy regimens and all sorts of hurdles and things, no pun intended, that they have to get through to get to the Olympics. So to celebrate them and the accomplishments of them getting there is just awesome. So again, shout out to all them Team USA gymnastics team. Leon Marchand, the French swimmer, when every time he does the breaststroke and he comes up, the crowd's like, and they're just like, yeah, it's crazy. The French crowds, by the way, y'all have really impressed me this year. Earlier with the WWE, when they went to France, and y'all crowd was wild. And now this, pretty cool to see how invested they get into sports over there. But one thing I do want to touch on before we move into the actual historic controversies that have happened throughout the Olympics is probably the biggest controversy I feel that is not talked about at all. And that is the fact that most of the Olympic countries, these athletes are not getting paid at all. Especially highlighting at least the main ones, UK, Norway, and Sweden, where, oddly enough, Sweden being one of the highest of living places to live, excuse me. Anyways, excuse me. They do not pay anything to their athletes. They do not give any compensation to their athletes. So what are we doing here, y'all? You mean these people are going to represent your country? You mean to tell me they're going through all this work to do so? They're winning medals, hopefully, for your country, and y'all ain't willing to pay them? Y'all ain't willing to give them a little bit of moolah, some little bonus? I mean, what are we talking about here? Not even a little bit. The billions of dollars that pour into the Olympics and that all these greedy bastards get their hands on. And you're telling me these athletes can't get paid? Now, there are some countries that are at least trying to do good, you know what I'm saying, by their athletes. For instance, Hong Kong, who only has 4 gold medals in their history, offers an over $750,000 bonus, $768,000 to be exact. There are also other countries with 6-figure prizes if you're to win a gold medal. Now, granted, I know that's not paying all of them anyways. It's just the gold medalists, and I think all of them should get paid at least something. I know they get stipends for food and stuff like that, but damn. Anyways, moving on. The Philippines, one gold medal in their 100-year history. They give $100,000 in cash with a house, with a lot, with 2-bedroom condominium, a lifetime supply of cookies, free meals for life from local restaurant chains. Like, yo, if you're a Filipino gold medal winner, I feel good. You're probably drinking for free the rest of your life too, which is probably pretty awesome. Let's see, Malaysian athletes, they receive cars. That's cool, right? Indonesian gold medalist, the badminton ones specifically, received 5 cows and a meatball restaurant. I mean, at least you're giving them a business to invest in, something for the future. But the most important one, and I see you, South Korea, and it's important because you shouldn't have patriotism and you shouldn't want to sacrifice for your country. I'm a veteran, so I clearly did. But South Korea, obviously most men over there have to serve 18 to 21 months of compulsory service in the South Korean military. If you are an Olympic medal winner, not even gold medal, just medal winner, you are exempt from that 18 to 21. So that gives you a chance to go to school or maybe just to live your life as a young adult. But I think that all of the athletes should get paid. So come on. I don't see... I do see, I know what's happening because we're about to get into it. What's happening is that there's too many, again, hands in the jar, too many hands in the cookie jar. And there's too many greedy people, no matter what their positions are, getting paid substantial amounts of money to make things happen, greasing the wheels, right? Not to mention a lot of these countries are getting the money, but they're not obviously passing that on to their athletes. They're just using that to, buffer the coffers, as they say. So really, countries need to start being more gracious of the athletes that are, dedicating themselves to winning for the country, and at the very least, give them a little payment, man. At least a car like the Malaysians, do something. I mean, $10,000, $20,000. What are we talking about? You're getting billions of dollars just to compete in the Olympics.
5,000.